Welcome, everybody, back to your next favorite podcast, the Meta Misfits podcast. We are your Meta Misfits.
Hello.
So I guess we can start by being completely transparent that Audacity just crashed on Bunny, and it's okay. And we're definitely not re-recording the first 10 minutes, even though we are.
Forgive me.
It's no one's fault. I know Audacity crashes a lot, so...
It is a great shout out though for the program because I've used it in other projects before and it is a really great free program.
Oh yeah, it's a great free program.
For some reason it was like not tonight.
Yeah, I've had it crash on me a couple times before, so I know it has its issues, but I wouldn't say it's as bad as Adobe programs. So
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So. I'm not reading all the Anchor podcasts again, but follow us and subscribe to any of the platforms you listen to us on so you don't miss an episode, and you can choose what episodes you want to listen to and stuff, and every listen helps. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, interact with the video. I'm checking comments all the time, so I'll engage with you guys as well.
Yeah, definitely. And alternatively, you can also find me on Twitch at Bunny Shade, and we have a Twitter that DJ monitors. So you can, and DJ is always on my stream usually, so we're always happy to chat live that way as well.
Yep. And the link also to our Twitch description is in most of our descriptions. It's probably the easiest to click on YouTube, but it is what it is. It's there. All the links are there, so... We're going to try and upload every Monday. Obviously, life happens, so if we miss an episode, Twitter would be the best place to check for updates. I do update when things go up, and you also get clips there if you don't like TikTok or YouTube. So
yeah, lots of options.
Yeah, tons of options, and I mean it's weekly content, so
yeah.
And also, if you're coming from Bunny's TikTok, welcome. She just hit 1,000 followers, so that's cool.
Thanks for all the love and support you guys have been showing me. I really appreciate it.
She's mainly excited to go live on TikTok 10 minutes into her stream to boost viewership. So
yeah. I just think, there's not a ton of VTubers that go live on TikTok. There are some, but just not a ton that I know of. And I just thought it would be so hilarious to get on there and tell dad jokes.
Yeah.
And just hang out and be funny and just have a good time before my full stream goes up.
Mhm. And you also post a lot of gaming content on there.
I do. I post clips on everything that we play on my stream, and I also do some I'll post clips of us just chatting too. Like if I just feel like we're having a relevant moment.
Yeah.
But usually it's shenanigans from the gameplay.
Yeah, it definitely is. We have a good time with our crew. Frequently.
Our boisterous crew, if you will.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe we should not do the exact same conversation we just had, and maybe we should start this episode a different way, since it obviously didn't like Amouranth or IndieFox.
We can still touch base on that if you want. That's
fine. Oh, we will. We'll come back to it though.
Okay.
So I think a good place to start would be Windows 11. Then have you been kind of paying attention?
I have been paying attention to it, and obviously until it hits and I can actually see some reviews, I don't know if it's going to be good. I know a lot of people had issues with Vista. Anyone remember Vista?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have any issues with Vista. Now Windows 8 though, I had some trouble going from Vista to that. And then
Yeah.
Windows 10 was super easy. They just basically gave us back things that we wanted. So now I'm just like, where do you go from Windows 10? Like, what exactly is Windows 11 gonna do for me, I guess?
Yeah. To be honest, it looks like there's a lot more app integration. So like, for me, I guess with school, which doesn't matter come September, is Microsoft Teams is more implemented in like their Microsoft suites. They don't
Yeah.
have to open full Windows or something. I personally don't like the look of it, but it'll be a free upgrade, so I might
Yeah.
just take it.
The look is kind of weird, but there's always going to be customization and personalization you can do with it. So I think it'll be fine in the end. And yeah, they're definitely going for more of I guess the gimmick or, the benefit is, the app integration, which is cool. With Windows 10, I'll be honest, I don't use a ton of the apps in the App Store, only because a lot of them have bad reviews, so they're not integrated as well as just downloading the regular app or or going to the website. That being said, though, if they did step up and make it a little bit more reliable, some of the things, like TikTok, for instance, they have an app in the Windows Store, but everyone hates it. It's not as good as just going to the website if you really don't want to be on mobile for some reason.
Yeah.
So, if the quality goes up, then I could see that being a pretty cool thing, especially if it helps with reducing CPU load, since a lot of people stream nowadays. Everyone's a hobby streamer, and that's definitely a thing on computers. You don't want to take up too much CPU or GPU, so if they found a way to make it more streamlined, that would be cool.
Right. I think they're focusing. I heard a lot of things about them trying to make CPU usage a lot more reliable or something like that.
In that same vein, I do have a comment about that as well. I do hope that they fix some of the issues with Windows 10 with memory leaks. It doesn't happen to everyone, but it is pretty prevalent though. There's a lot of people where Windows 10, certain updates or certain apps just won't work well with it, and you'll close them out, but your memory is still used up, or it'll slowly just start using more and more memory throughout the day. So, so yeah, CPU and memory, I would like to see them where I don't care about how big the system is. I've gotten used to it being over 100 gigs.
Yeah.
But just performance would be nice.
Yeah, optimization for sure. And I think they're also trying to work on HDR on games with a new Open DirectX or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I didn't hear about that.
I saw it today because I was I thought we were going to talk about this next week, actually, because I heard that they were going to do their announcement next week, but it must have been a video from late last week. So I saw a video today that it was officially announced, and I was like, oh, I guess I better pay attention a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch all of the content that came out of it. I saw some of the video, and I had read some paragraphs written about it. Just kind of getting a feel for what people were wondering about it and everything.
Yeah. You know what's funny is it got leaked early.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. That's how everybody knew it was coming, and then they announced it. And I don't know if the leak's still out, but I'm sure it is somewhere. It's impossible to bring those down.
Yeah, exactly. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Everything gets leaked nowadays. Just everything.
Having a big corporation like that, it would be so stressful because you're like, who can I actually trust?
Trust information, yeah.
Yeah, that would just stress me out. But at the same time, I kind of want to, in the future, I want to own businesses.
I mean, honestly, that's the way to go. If you don't want to specialize in, a craft or a skill, but you want to make a decent income, but also feel like you're helping with structure of a business and such, owning businesses is a good way to go about it.
I
I
have
at
a
one
lot
point,
of ideas.
well, I was gonna say, I at one point owned a furniture store, a used furniture store, but I had partners. So,
Yeah.
and it was such a small business, so it was very hands-on and a lot of hours, a lot of work. But if
Oh
you
yeah, it
work
is a
at
lot
it
of
and
hours.
you get yourself to a certain level, then yeah, it's a good career choice, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I definitely have a lot of ideas. Like, me and Mama talk about this a lot. She's like, don't ever get a job. And I'm like, you're right, but I want to own businesses.
Yeah, it's like, but I need money, so
Yeah. So we always talk about this. And so right now, Llama's my kind of outlet to talk to about things that I can't really talk to you about because I want to save it for the podcast.
for the podcast, yeah. Well, Ama Llama is a great listener. Like, she's definitely, I consider her one of my best female friends that
Mm-hmm.
I have. Like, I have a small handful. I have a couple in person, and then she's definitely my online bestie. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate her ear.
Oh yeah, I like talking to Llama. She's the greatest. Which I guess this is kind of a segue into a new topic if we're done about Windows 11. It's because we've had this conversation, I think either this week or last week, me and Llama, so kind of segues over to how do you pull the girls you want to pull, or like even the guys? Like,
even
let's
the
talk about
guys.
this.
Okay. So, this is like our relationship 101, like, sexy section.
Not sexy, but like just relationship. Like, because here, story time. You're gonna listen for a second, okay? I got a story to tell you. So, I think it was like last month. I was swiping on Tinder, which I should honestly just delete because it's a terrible app. No offense, Tinder, but you're a terrible app.
It's not good for men or women. It really, yeah, it's stressful from what I hear.
Yeah, I'm not enjoying it, and it just doesn't work. So, anyways, I matched with this person, and I should have known better because this person had nothing on their profile. But they messaged me first, and they were like, hey, like, we started talking, and they asked for my Snapchat, and I was like, okay. No, they had a picture of nature, but nothing else, and no bio, no nothing. So I gave them my Snapchat. We started talking on Snapchat, and they wanted a picture. So I sent them a picture, and then they sent one back, and it's a fucking... No offense, like, I support people like this, but it's a transgender dude who's, like, very clearly a dude trying to go
He's probably
female.
in transition, like, as
Yeah.
we speak, yeah.
And so I was just like, I support you, dude, but, like, you're not for me.
Yeah.
And so here's where I'm kind of at, like, how the fuck do I manage to continually pull these people? Because this week I matched with another one, but this one was a little more convincing. I'll give it to them. They were a lot more convincing.
Mm-hmm.
A little, like, I could feel the toxicity. Like, I could tell they've been on Twitch watching, like, the most toxic streamers just from the way they presented themselves right from the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, oh, maybe she's just like a nerdy girl or whatever. And so I continued to talk to her. There were a couple points where, like, I should have probably picked up on it, but then they go, just so you know, I'm bad at segueing into this, but I'm a transgender. And I'm like, I support you again, but you're not my type.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know, like, how do I pull, like, that's 2 in 2 months. I just want to say that's a really bad rate for someone who's not interested in them.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Well, no, I feel ya, and, well, I mean, it's totally not, unkosher for you to just put, like, you know, interested in she, her, I'm a he, them. it's totally fine to normalize using like proper pronouns and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I totally support transgender men and women, and it's going to be a tough road for her because they're in the middle of transitioning. And I think honestly, like, I know a lot of people who use Tinder. I just always have friends who complain about that same issue. Like, it's so hard to actually meet anyone. It's really just for like one night stands usually. The
Mm-hmm.
thing is if you're unhappy with the people you're meeting on there, it's probably because they're having issues finding relationships, outside of an application as well. So a lot of people who are stuck in an area that doesn't offer or provide a big enough pool of people to meet and mingle with, you're going to get a lot of people that have issues that where they're not going to be able to get dates as easily as others. Like women, will go on there. You're not going to find Gerard Butler on Tinder, okay? Like,
Well,
you
you
might
might.
find some decent men, but a lot of the decent men, they're looking for a Jennifer Lawrence, and they're not looking for you if you're that girl next door type. It's just, there are definitely people that you could match with, but it's such a small percentage. And then you have people on Tinder from wide range of areas around your area, depending on how far out you're searching. And
Mm-hmm.
so I get the need for dating apps, but and I obviously, that's my relationship privilege speaking, because I haven't ever had to use one. But I've known enough people and
Spoiled.
relatives, friends, every have used it. I just really feel like it's hard to, like, it happens for some. Again, statistically, it does happen, but it's just going to be really hard to find people that you click with. I mean, it's probably going to be like you might find two in the span of a year, because there's just
Yeah.
so many people going there because they don't have a way to find dates outside of that platform.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, I don't think, I think if you handle it well and just let them know that you support their journey, like, they're not going to fault you for having a preference. There are
Yeah.
plenty of people who will love them for who they are. It's just got to be so hard to find those people, because we live in a world where there's billions of us and everyone's online, and it just feels like there's just so many people but just not enough people who actually can connect with you. And it's just a real big gray area. Like, there's lots of reasons that happens.
Yeah. See, my problem is I think I'm too picky, and
I
like,
mean, I think lots of people are.
but like, I'm okay with some curves, okay? Like, don't get me wrong, curves are great. I like curves. I also like a fit girl, but like, there's a point where your curves are too much,
Yeah, well,
and
everyone has preferences.
yeah, and I just feel like I'm always matching with those people,
Those
and I'm
people are
always
gonna,
like, why?
well, there's more of them on there than not, though. You know what I
That's
mean?
true. I
That's
mean,
the thing. It's the law of statistics. It's math. If there is, whether I agree with it or not, if there is a certain sect that you fall in that's hard to find dates, whether that's body image, transitioning between genders, or being on the spectrum of different things, being fluid, those things aren't, and I'm quote unquoting here, like, mainstream. So there's going to be more of them on there than not, because they need to be able to reach a wider audience to find people to date.
right.
Now, that being said, I think the biggest problem is Tinder. It's just so big and so many people use it. Like, I don't have nothing wrong with, like, my first ever serious relationship was online, but I met him through a video game.
This is a segue, so keep it for
Okay,
a
okay, yeah.
couple
I
seconds.
Yeah, I met him through a video game. So again, like I said, I never had to use it, but I'm totally pro long distance relationships. And I am for anyone however they want to love, because I mean, I totally acknowledge that, waifuists, just people who literally all they want to do is have online relationships because they have issues being physically together. So I mean, there's a wide spectrum of people, but yeah, I think Tinder is just way too big. Nowadays, they have, well, not to bring up TikTok, but I kind of felt I thought it was super cute, but I somehow found the TikTok of little women for lack of a better word, but fat guys. They're like, hey, we love our bears. We like cuddles, and they're so
Yeah.
big and snuggly, So, and there's the opposite, men who like definitely bigger women, like not the
Mm-hmm.
middle size, but like bigger women. So there's people for everyone out there, and there's a lot more dating apps popping up. There's specifically an LGBTQ dating app that I keep seeing advertised on TikTok. I don't know how this pops up there. They're like giving it to me. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but I'm probably not going to use it.
To be honest, all the dating apps suck. Like, they just get worse and
Yeah.
worse as they keep putting them out because they all want to be different, but they all want to do the same thing and they all don't do anything.
Yeah.
They just all suck. But anyways, segue from your online relationship, LDRs, long distance relationships.
Hmm.
So the only time I can happen to find someone I'm interested in is usually online through a video game, and they're either on the other side of the continent or they're like 24-hour drive from me, and I'm
Hmm.
like, I've been considering it, and my sister, we had this conversation yesterday because she's been coming over to check on the dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
But sh
Puppies.
yeah, she has had this conversation with me because I brought it up, and she's like, honestly, that might just be your thing. Like, you might just want to try it and try and make it work with someone you meet online through
Yeah.
like a video game or whatever, because it's your type of person and they may or may not fit your criteria, but by the time you meet them, you might actually just not care about half of the shit you care about.
Yeah, definitely. There's something to be said in the fact that, okay, so, like, I, for the longest time, didn't really have a type. I still don't really have a type. I like people who I like typically because of their personality or if I think they're really nice. Now, do I acknowledge certain actors are hot? Oh, yeah, sure, definitely. But, but I mean, just in general, though, I'm not myself uberly picky, except for, like, a couple things. But but no, like I won't name them, but I had a friend who was all when I worked at a job and he worked with me and it was kind of like a night shift thing, but he was always complaining to me about how women never wanted to get serious with him. Well, his type was single moms who have kids.
Who are
And
just busy.
yeah, they're just like A, they're super busy. B, a mom is more likely to be like, look, I'm not messing around. Obviously, you might just be. It's hard to tell if a dude's in it just for the benefits or like if he could be good of a kid or heck, even want to help you raise that kid down the road. And I mean, to be fair, a lot of people nowadays are lonely and we're very much companionable as species. Like, we want to have companions. But, like, there's just something to be said about getting to know someone, like, actually knowing someone.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was like, dude, you might just be rushing it a bit. But also, you got to go outside of your type now and then. Now, I'm not saying, obviously, if there's something that you have a huge aversion to, I'm not saying, oh, well, you're too picky. But I'm just saying, just have an open mind and go for something a little different, because he finally did. Like, he met a woman who was actually just a couple years older than him, but she didn't have a kid. And, without, I don't want to give too much away because I don't want to, like, name them or anything. But, like,
Yeah.
he normally wouldn't have gone for her. But they ended up hitting off, and they're like engaged and gonna be married. They've been together for like 3 years now. So yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like a lot of people, if you just take the time to get to know someone, you might decide that, oh, well, just because you're not exactly the measurements I like, or, well, even if you have a kid, or, well, even if he isn't going to the gym and working out, like, I might like a dad bod. You know what I mean? Like, you just, if you like them, you're more likely to be like, it's not settling, it's just realizing that you're okay with that because of them, you know?
Right. I wouldn't necessarily say it's all about the measurements. Like, it's just, are you visually appealing to me, I guess, is kind of more the issue, because it's hard to have
spectrum of measurements. That it just depends on who the person is and how confident they are too is a big thing.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That was a conversation I've been having, and I've been running through my head a million times, because it's like, how did I pull 2 transgenders in the span of 2 months? And it's never happened to me before, and just suddenly, and I was blown away. And then, like, I looked at the rest of my matches, and I'm like, they are all of a certain type, and it doesn't seem to be my type. Mind you, I have, I guess, settled in a way out of desperation for some of those, and I know they just don't work.
Yeah.
I've seen them not work myself.
The same way. I mean, that's what I said. Like, a lot of people are on there just because they're lonely and they want to just have some company.
Yeah.
Even if they're not going to take it serious, you know. And I feel like a lot of people are just like, yeah, it's normal, whatever. But that's what I mean. Like, I do feel like it's kind of a bad cycle that people can get in, and you just have to be. You have to be willing to acknowledge that you might want something different and maybe, like, step back.
Yeah. And, like, COVID definitely doesn't help right now. Like, I know America, the States are opening up a lot more, but Canada, we're still kind of, like, closed right now.
Mostly, yeah.
And so it's just, like, really hard because you can't really do anything. But, like, right now they're saying we're gonna go back to school and have normal classes at my college. And honestly, I'm like, after Stampede, which is like our big festival we have in a city near me, it's like a big rodeo food truck kind of thing. We're just gonna skyrocket again. So
yeah.
I feel like we're only opening up just to close again, and I'm like,
Yeah. No, COVID's made it really weird. It's weird to socialize. I've never had issues, like, socializing, like, just getting out there and be like, hey, how you doing? You know, hi, want to be my friend?
Yeah.
But that being said, though, it is weird going from an entire year and a half of just telling my friends, no, I'm not going to hang out in person. And then all of a sudden, like, everyone wants to hang out with you, and I'm just, like, a tad bit overwhelmed because I've gotten into a schedule where I'm working and I'm staying on top of projects, and then I realize somehow that I've become addicted to working on projects, because then I'm like, oh, but if I hang out this weekend, I'm going to be so behind on the schedule that I set for myself.
Trust me, I've noticed. But yes, so speaking of socializing with people, I had to sell some tires today, okay? I'm the middleman of this operation. My mom's the second middleman well, she's the first middleman of the operation. I'm the second middleman of the operation, okay? They're not even our tires. They're her boyfriend's mom's tires, right? They've been sitting on the back deck for almost a year, probably. And
aged tires.
Yeah, so they were still in good shape. They were wrapped in everything, and they were covered with a tarp or whatever. But so my mom's like, hey, can you show these people these tires? I'm like, do I have to interact with them? She's like, well, I mean, you'll have to greet them, but, like, you don't have to talk vehicles or anything with them. And I'm like, okay. So they were supposed to come last night at 6 my time, and then they rescheduled for today at 3:30. We're recording this on Friday, just for everybody else's context. And they knock on the door, and I kind of hear it because I'm like chilling in my room, but I turned off my music because it's getting closer to 3:30 and I was expecting them, and I kind of heard them knock, so I ran down the stairs, and I didn't see anyone coming down the stairs at first, and then my stairs kind of turn, so I saw them as I turned, and I noticed they were both girls. There were two girls sitting on my porch, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Now I gotta socialize with not only people, but two girls that are like my sister's age, probably. A little older, maybe a little younger. They were cute, I'm not gonna lie. But like, my mom didn't prepare me for like meeting two girls.
Mom?
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? My hair wasn't done. I'm wearing sweatpants. I'm not wearing the greatest attire. And then I gotta socialize on top of it, and then they actually was like trying to socialize with me, and I was like, oh god, is this what COVID did to me, or was I always like this?
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
So I was bugging out, and then like, of course, since I'm the middleman, I'm the second middleman, so I gotta call my mom. And then that's when I found out that she's also a middleman to this transaction, because we had to wait on another phone call to be made.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like, I should have just said yes and not worried about it. Just taken the 150 that they paid me and just said I sold the tires without anybody's permission. But my luck, they would have all been pissed off. So
Yeah.
I had to do it, but that's my story
Right
for
thing,
the day.
Man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. They were cute though, and I'm socially awkward, and I was very upset, and I'll yell at my mom when she comes home because she's on vacation. So
Oh gosh. Like, hearing your whole description, I'm not gonna lie, I kept thinking of Will Ferrell when like he doesn't know what to do with his hands, and then like keep popping up in front of his face like, girls.
Also, while we were recording, I'm just going to be kind of transparent here for a moment. Apparently, it's my first day with a mouth, because I went to take a sip of water and I ended up wearing most of that mouthful. So that was pretty cool.
We all start somewhere, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was born like 3 days ago, but it's all good. So I know I kind of ruined the joke. I should have taken it out of our list of topics that I sent you earlier.
Oh God,
but
this is coming.
I saw this on TikTok and I thought it was funny, so I added it to my notes. What if you had to have sex every day during pregnancy to keep building the baby?
I mean, like, is it a joke as in there's a punchline, or is it just a funny thing to ask someone?
No, it's just
truthfully.
it's just a funny thing to ask someone. There's no punchline.
Alright, well, I mean, sure, go for it. I guess it would depend on if you're having a pregnancy that's like, oh my god, I'm dying, or if you're like, hey, I feel pretty good. I feel like half of the people who get pregnant would probably be like, nah, we're not having a baby.
Yeah, most people would be like, nah, we're not building this baby. But then the problem to that would be, what happens when they decide that like they're not working out, and then they go and like, you're just going to be mutating genes at that point, you know? Like, you're going to find another significant other, you're going to have sex, and you're going to keep building this baby now.
Chimera babies.
Yeah.
Fun fact. I don't know why I remembered this from years and years ago, but there are people on this planet who have DNA from 3 parents.
That kind of makes sense.
Parents. Yeah, so whenever you have a egg and a sperm, and then they have a donor who carries it, like, the baby actually gets genetic material from the carrier as well. So it's this really weird offshoot where they'll actually have genetic makeup from 3 separate DNA lines. It's hella weird if you're a genetic nerd like me. But yeah, it's cool.
Sex ed with Bunny.
Yeah, sex ed with Bunny.
But yeah, I thought that was funny.
For this.
I mean, most people though, here's the problem. Most girls, and even like most guys, I know guys do this a lot too, is like they overhype their sex drive. And then after they get comfortable in a relationship, it kind of starts to die a little bit. So what if the girl has like hella baby fever or the other way around and they just want to keep building this baby, right? But the other person's like, no, don't touch me tonight. Like, how long are you going to carry this baby for? And how long is it feasible to carry this baby for?
I feel like if this was a real thing, I don't think we'd be around anymore. Because, I mean, like, even I know there's going to be some dudes like, nah, I can go every day. But, like, theoretically, there are going to be days where you can't go because of work or you have to travel. You know what I mean?
So what you're
like,
saying is the population
day,
wouldn't be 7 billion.
No, like, maybe we should make this a thing.
Yeah, maybe we need to hire some scientists, become the next Elon Musk, and have some solutions for shit.
I know, right? Like, we have good ideas.
Yeah, sometimes. Just takes a lot of money.
Yeah. Just takes a little bit of money and lots of planning.
Yep. Also, I think I don't know if this is true, but I keep seeing a lot of things about Elon Musk developing a game, a VR game.
Really?
I'm not sure. One sec. Let me look this up because I want to be extra certain about this. It might just be a meme, but
yeah, because I try to keep up on that stuff, but I hadn't heard anything like that though. Elon Musk news.
doesn't look like it's true, so it must just be a meme that I keep seeing for some reason. But I literally saw it while I was waiting for you to get ready for this on
yeah, it must
TikTok.
Be a meme. Yeah.
So I was like, huh. And I've seen something else on Twitter, I think. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's a meme because it doesn't show up as a popular search result.
Well, talking about Elon Musk, and this is not financial advice, this is just my opinion. But
Oh, I did.
But Dogecoin is up again.
Yeah, I bought it at 26, so I made some money back from my failure of Bitcoin when it crashed.
Awesome. Well, I got in on it around that like before it even before it skyrocketed. I bought like 750 shares. Like, I don't have anything amazing in there, but you know, when it went down, I was a little red, but I was still up because of my AMC stonks.
Yeah.
Like, AMC has just been green the whole time I've had it. I've never once gone red with it. I'm just like, oh, whatever.
That's good though.
Yeah. I've been doing small little things here and there, but yeah, no, just to segue from Elon Musk, I was like, oh yeah, Dogecoin's up again.
So I invested in a drone company when I was first getting into stocks because I only wanted to throw $10 and I didn't want to waste my money on something, right? Yeah. So I threw $10 into an account and I invested in a drone delivery service where like it delivers your packages via drone. And I was like, I heard Jeff Bezos wanted to do something like this for Amazon. So maybe if I buy right now while it's only like $1.17 or whatever, at the time I think it was almost $2. I was like, maybe he's going to partner with, they're going to get a deal with Amazon going and then I'll make a shit ton of money. Well, I've only been losing money on these guys for the past 3 months. So I went from $10 to like $6. I've dipped into $5.80 territory, I think. And then the only crypto I could buy was Ethereum and Bitcoin. So I was buying parts of a Bitcoin.
The fractionals, yeah.
Yeah, and I went up and I would sell. And then normally what happens when I sell is it continues to go up a little bit. And it's done that every single time. I bought it for, I think, 63 last time, and it went up to 80K, and I was like, oh, it'll still go up, right? So I didn't sell.
It dipped.
And then it went back down, and so I sold at, I think, 67, and then I bought again at 53, and it continued to drop another 10K. So I sold with my losses, I was like, fuck it, I've lost money. There's no way it's going to go up to 80K after a month of being down this low. And then I made $1 back on Dogecoin over the last week, so
There you go.
yeah, I've been happier. I mean, it's $1, but still.
Yeah, I mean, it's something. Can't
Yeah.
help that. Well, you know, and I'm a small time investor. I don't have thousands to put into something. So you just have to remember, and for if randomly someone who's just starting out is listening, the best advice that I've ever heard, and I completely agree with because it's just logical, but just remember, everything snowballs. So you may not have thousands to invest to flip the next day and make 20K off of something, but if you have a couple hundred, you know, if you always keep half available and put half into something, and then you make, even if it's only, you only make $30, that's 130 to invest with the next time, you know what I mean? But you should always try to keep some in your wallet in case something really big pops up that you want to try to get in on.
Yeah, for sure. I just don't care enough to invest, so I have my $20 in whatever. Well, right now it's $12, but whatever.
I put 150 in, and I'm sitting at about 700. Now that's not money I can just take out and use. You know,
Yeah.
it takes time. Plus, I already took my 150 I initially put in out, so that's just earnings.
That's pretty good.
So I definitely, even if I'm like super broke, I'm gonna be like, nah, that I don't have that money. You know what I mean? Because like it's a nest egg that I can try to keep growing. And then when
Yeah.
I'm 60, I'll be like, I made $2 million.
Well, yeah,
We'll
sure.
have to see. We'll have to see.
Anyways, does Twitch have a stock? I'll look this up because my app takes fingerprint, whatever. So
Oh,
I'll
yeah, that's
probably
a
be
good
the
question.
fastest.
I have no clue.
Or is it part of Amazon now, I wonder?
Oh, you know, it's probably part of Amazon, to be fair.
Twitch. Yeah, I think it's part of Amazon, to be honest. But Amazon stocks are insane. I'll never be able to afford one, essentially. But anyways, so the whole reason I asked is because of how poorly Twitch would be doing right now, just from like the past 6 months, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, they definitely, you know, the one thing that keeps Twitch afloat is their community. Like, that's the thing, is when you have a stream, have a channel, and you get regulars, you're building on a community. There's inside jokes. You know, people are, they're in it because they legitimately believe in you, or they just really think you're funny, or they just want to hang out and you're legitimately friends, you know? That's where I've met almost all of my online friends, is through Twitch, and I wouldn't change it on that aspect, but there's definitely things that other platforms are doing that it's just like, man, Twitch, I mean, come on. Like, you gotta fix some of the stuff, because they're not perfect by a long stretch.
Yeah, I think because if anybody knows about the Amouranth and IndieFox bans this last week and a half or whatever, there's been a good point brought up where they should introduce like a monetization option where they can demonetize your stuff like YouTube. As opposed to, because with YouTube, that was the incentive not to post bad content that like kind of pushed the line a little bit.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I know I already said it, but that section crashed, so we had to restart. But I blame Twitch and their handling more so than the streamers. You know, there are, you know, as a small streamer myself, you know, the thing is I don't compete for viewers with Amouranth. You know, she does something completely different from what I do. I don't necessarily hate that there are booby streamers, because let's be honest, people have, you know, foot fetishes, they have boob fetishes, they have heart-shaped face fetishes. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way to completely take sexuality out of anything where humans get together to do something. That's just, there's just no way of doing it. that being said, there definitely is a line that, you know, when crossed, it's like just go to Pornhub or something. Or, I mean, that's specifically what OnlyFans is for. If you're going to have that kind of content, direct it where it should go. You know, because the people who are there watching them for that stuff, they're not going to be watching some indie streamer play Stardew Valley. They're not going to watch a dude who plays Call of Duty. He might be amazing and go like 30-0, but like that's not what they're on Twitch for. Like they only watch certain types of streamers.
Yeah.
So. But it's hard. It's a gray area. Like I said, I'm not gonna fault them. I mean, they're only giving their viewers what the viewers want.
Yeah. No, they're just being smart at this point, and they're.
Yeah.
I do have to give it to them though. They are pushing their lines a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you told me about, you know, them shaking their butts in front of the camera and like doing ASMR. And that's what I mean. Like that kind of content doesn't need to be on here. Like if you have to go that far because you want money from it, go to a platform like separate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like there are certain lines. It's just Twitch is so bad about, oh, you can't do this, and then they completely just backpedal and let them do it again. It's like,
So, just so that we give full context about what we're talking about, there's these two Twitch streamer girls, is what I'm going to call them, where they do a lot of more lewd, risque content on Twitch, and Amouranth was kind of the one who kind of started hot tub streaming with a bathing suit, and it became the Twitch meta, and I guess IndieFox also kind of came out of the woods after that, and they've been competing, and so they went from just chatting to a hot tub section of Twitch that Twitch made specifically for them, and then now the latest thing that got them banned was ASMR streams, where they were at the top of the ASMR category. They were doing ASMR. I'll give it to them. They weren't breaking terms of service. Like they were doing ASMR, but they were doing it in a little bit of a skimpier outfit, I guess is a good word for it.
Yeah.
And I know at least Amouranth had her butt facing the camera, and it was like pure ass cheeks, but like she had something on to like hide what
like a
was needed.
Shirts kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think if anything, because I also get that a lot of people complain about it because it feels like it's everywhere on Twitch. I do think if you're gonna break rules like that, like there should just be a strict dress code. And I don't want to get into it about nipples, because the fact of the matter is that men versus women, like, we both have nipples. But the thing is it's like, you know, especially here in America, we come from a Puritan society. Like, Europeans, they're like, they go around topless. You know, they're like, yeah, we don't really care. So let's just say, yeah, don't be completely shirtless. You can have, you know, guys can, because I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like dress codes in schools. Like, how far do you want to go? But it's like, if you're there for... Okay, I guess what I'm trying to say is we're not 12 anymore, people. Like,
well, there are 12-year-olds on the platform.
Well, you know what I mean, though? Like, us as adults, like, yeah, we like sexy stuff, but there's other places for it. So, dude... You know, guys can just suck it up. They can wear a tank top, you know, the guy, like, muscle shirts or whatever. Women should wear shirts. Like, you know, obviously, female shirts. You can't buy a shirt made for a female that doesn't show the top of your boobs. They're just made that freaking way, okay? Mm-hmm. But nothing excessive. Like, a certain, like, reach, you know? And then I think butt cheeks should be covered. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, you should be sitting on them at least.
Like, you don't need to have your butt in the frame. If it's like a Just Dance or something, I totally get that. you're gonna
Most
see
girls
people's
wear
butts.
leggings, though.
And guys, like if they're getting up to get a drink, I'm not trying to say like. So that's what I mean, like gray area. People will always try to argue with you, like, oh well, what about this? What about this? I'm just saying they should decide on something and stick to it. And then if people are gonna break it, demonetize them. But
Yeah.
Twitch wants the money they bring in, so
That
it's
is
just,
the
it's
issue.
a deadly loop. There's just at this point, I'm just like whatever.
Yeah, that's the issue, and I think the way for a lot of people, the way they handled copyright issues was a huge deal breaker for them, and that's kind of why I moved over to YouTube, because at least I can send the revenue of whatever that video would make off of that money, because they can automatically monetize the video if I have copyright stuff in it. All that money that video makes goes to the producer, however the frick that works. But
it goes to the record label that owns it, basically, and then it turns down where it needs to go.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah.
I just think YouTube handle. Mind you, they've been around a lot longer, so they've dealt with all this crap already. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like Twitch doesn't care enough. Is that a crime?
Yeah, I totally get what you mean. The thing is, you know, it's not necessarily a crime, but like, Twitch is built upon its users, and so I do feel like it's not. I don't feel like you're being a Karen for expecting them to uphold to a certain standard. I don't think that's wrong at all. Like if you want us to come to your platform and enjoy content and deal with your ads, you need to handle things properly.
Oh my God, they're ads, Bunny.
It to us. You know what I mean? They owe it to us.
I don't know how many Twitch streams you watch in your spare time, but have you ever had to watch a Twitch ad?
Yes. Yeah, I do try to support indie streamers, and I try to find people randomly and just sit. I'm always a lurker because I just don't have time to actually chat with people, but I try to give them a view because views matter the most.
They need to implement some kind of skippable ad system or something, because like whatever they're doing, it's terrible. I hate it. 30-second ads at the start of a stream is part of the reason why people can't grow on Twitch.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they just don't give a fuck about people growing on Twitch. Like,
that's the biggest thing I would like to point out is that, like I said, Twitch, the only thing Twitch has going for it is how the community can work and come together. Like, you've got the emotes, poggers originated there, you know, like all that jazz. But the thing is, though, is that you could, I guess, kind of grow organically on Twitch, but like nowadays, it's pretty much synonymous with any big person. Or like, you can't just stream and expect to grow. Like, you've got to promote yourself, whether it's TikTok or Twitter or
YouTube.
Networking. Yeah, like YouTube, or like specifically networking, like spending hours in other people's stream and becoming friends with them, and people organically finding you that way or getting to play with them, that kind of thing. Like, you can't just stream on your own. Like, you've got to be social in some way.
Yeah. Have you heard of Clint Stevens on Twitch?
It sounds familiar, but no.
I've probably mentioned him to you, but essentially he did grow organically on Twitch, and it's because he was speedrunning 100% Ocarina of Time, while the other streamer that would normally run 100% Ocarina of Time, who's like, this guy will be able to tell you every little thing about Ocarina of Time's programming and probably story. They streamed at different time slots. So the world record holder was a day streamer, and this guy came in at like, pulled all-nighters. Like, he was just a night owl at first, streamed for like 2 years straight, I think, just running Ocarina of Time consistently. And the reason he blew up so quickly was because he was the only person to get close enough to even compete with that other guy.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And then like now it pisses me off because I've seen where how he's made a platform, but now he like goes on 3-month hiatuses, 6-month, like he probably streamed like 2 months last year, and he comes back whenever he wants to type thing. And it's just like there's so many fans for this guy that like just, and I guess it kind of categorizes those viewers as well, that like they'll only ever watch the same type of stream.
Yeah. That's what I mean, you know. People have to stop thinking about Twitch as in, oh, I have to compete with people and they have unfair advantages. Not always, honestly. Like, the biggest unfair advantage would be if they have tons of money and they can literally pay for ads to push their stuff on other platforms. That would be the biggest unfair advantage. But like, people are gonna watch who they want to watch, and you know, I'm not a hardcore viewer. I really enjoy streaming and chatting and meeting people, but viewer wise, like, I don't really have a criteria. But I know some people who all they ever watch is literally just, you know, I'm trying to think of one, but like League of Legends. Gamers for that matter, you know, a lot of people who are competitive, they have a game and that's like all they play. But the thing is I get burned out. I can't. That's the number one reason why I will never ever try to actually do esports. Although sometimes, you know, I'm not the best, but there are a lot of times where I'll clutch something insane, and it's like, you know, I feel like if I actually applied myself to something, oh, I could probably get really good. But it's like, I don't want to burn myself out on this game, though.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say when I was younger, sure, I've played Ocarina of Time easily 12 times, you know, over the course of my life. And, you know, I've played all of the Resident Evils multiple times, at least 4 on every one of them, 5 on some. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm not against playing a game. And Lord knows I always go back to League, always go back to Siege. You know this about me. But I don't like to just play that, though. I just get bored of it.
Yeah, like right now, Monkey and Whale are both blowing my mind right now, because it's like they don't stop playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and I don't understand why. Like, I'm burned out from watching you get burned out.
Well, don't get me wrong, it's fun, and I'll definitely probably play some more, like, tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, I played it all week, so that's why I was like, I don't necessarily want to play it tonight. Like, as soon as we get done here, it's already 8:30. I'm gonna try to get as much time in on Siege as I can, mm-hmm. you know, because it's like I just needed a little bit of a break. And then tomorrow when I come home, I'm probably gonna be doing like some D&D. Dragon Quest before I even do Red Dead, you know.
Yeah. Do you guys not do D&D anymore?
We do, but the problem is we kept all having weird schedules. And, like, tomorrow money's not available, and so Amo is saying that her brother is like, well, we could do an offshoot, but we'd have to make new characters, and I'm not really into the one-offs.
Doing offshoots are hard.
Yeah, if I'm gonna play D&D, I prefer to stick with a character until I'm just, like, done with that character.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't mind taking break. That's another thing. I can't just play D&D consistently. Like, I like D&D, but I don't want to play it for 12 months straight, though.
Yeah.
I'm more like, I'll play it for 4 months and then I need a break.
Right. So, my campaign we've been playing for 7 months almost straight. We've had a couple weeks off because we had a bad player at the start. And then, like, just life happens. So, but right now, one of our players are burned out. So he said he was going to take the month off. We'll see if he takes longer, because his month is coming up here pretty soon. And, like, I'd hate to, like, end the campaign while he's still playing World of Warcraft. But, like, it might happen at this rate. I don't know. Yeah. Like, he doesn't even talk to me or anything.
Well, and you don't have to end it. You can literally just be all like, blah, 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 and like literally just put it in stasis. Like, you can always come back to it later. And you can always kill off his character if he never wants to come back, and you can add someone else later on too.
Yeah,
Like, it's
true.
flexible.
But no, like my grand plan, if the group I'm playing with wants to continue playing after like a little break or whatever, my grand plan is to finish this campaign so that it connects to every other campaign they play with me.
Mm-hmm.
But make them all make characters in different worlds of the same universe, and then for our final campaign I want to bring them all together for like a final main story campaign, you know?
Yeah, that would be super cool.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that being awesome.
Kind of like Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know.
Mingles
It's a lot of
everything.
work, so.
It is a lot of work. It is. But you know, DMs who love DMing, they literally do it for decades. So
That's true, yeah.
you
I
got
want to
time.
do an IRL stream or an IRL game, but I don't have
That
friends.
would be fun. That
So.
would be fun. I gotta say, I think I prefer online.
Oh, I love my online stuff.
Because I first started D&D and I played like 3.5, and I was friends with these people that I'd met, and this is how I met my first boyfriend. But I used to do Resident Evil role plays, but they were like chat based, so post by post. And you know, we all had our own characters, just like D&D, but no actual like mechanics. We were just like, hey, you can't kill someone without verifying with that person beforehand out of the game, and blah blah blah. But we would just have fun, and there would always be a person who ran the game, quote unquote, and they would post things that are happening in the environment, and then every player had an order where they would go in, and then so you waited until the person before you posted and be like, oh, you know, I try to evade the liquors and not get eaten, kind of thing. Alright, so that's explaining what that is for people who are like, what the hell is she talking about? Anyway, though, I met all of my online friends through there when I was like 13, and so I started playing D&D, and we just did it through like just a chat messenger, and then it was like an honor system with the dice. But anyway, then flash forward to like 3 years ago, I played for the first time in a setting, like with real people in front of me, and it just felt so awkward. The DM is great, and everyone, it was a lot of fun to hang out, but it was just awkward, because when it's online, everyone takes their time to like formulate what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even voice, like using Discord to do it online, I still feel like text by text is the best way. It gives you the most believable ones. I'll put it that way. It gives you the most like realistic ones when you're reading it. Like, oh yeah, this sounds cool.
So we'll wrap up in a sec, but in correlation to your whole text thing, if you're gonna ever do like a text-based D&D session again, I would recommend to your DM to use Foundry VTT, because there's a module that actually, like, you can add this module to your game, and it allows you to choose what language you want to talk in.
Really?
Yeah, so one of my players was like, I want to use Thieves' Camp more, but I don't know how to like implement it right now. So I looked into modules and stuff, and we added one where he can talk in Thieves' Camp text-based, but still have a normal conversation with the rest of the group, and then only I can understand it, or whichever token has Thieves' Camp connected to their sheet.
Oh my god, that's cool.
It is cool.
That's really neat. I will keep that in mind.
So yeah, I mean the program's $50, and you have to host everything yourself. So like you have to forward your port, but other than that, it's way better than like Roll20 or something.
No, that sounds really awesome. I will definitely look into that. That plus Owlbear. I love Owlbear as if like dungeon draft, making your own dungeons and stuff, and then using Owlbear.
Foundry
and
is
dice
so
on
much better
Owlbear.
than Owlbear. So much better.
Really? All right.
So much.
I'll look into it then.
Like, I could bring you into my world at some point and just like let you mess around for a few seconds as like a player.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I'll definitely have to. I can also look at some reviews and stuff. That sounds really cool, though.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I have nothing else to talk about. Do you?
No, that pretty much covered everything that I was going to chat about.
Okay, cool. So, again, if anybody's still listening, because I know I've been looking at statistics and they're not looking overly impressive. Like, retention rate isn't doing too good. But
Well,
I mean, it was our first podcast, and it was about something that, like, is very niche. This one's a little more generalized, and I have a really good clickbait title and thumbnail for YouTube. So hopefully we get some good analytics. But anyways, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you like the video and watch it all the way through, because we need that watch time. Thank you. That's all.
Thanks, everyone. You have a great evening, and we'll catch you next Monday.
Catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.